Taylor Swift just got engaged to Travis Kelce. She also just announced her brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl. And once again, the whole world is watching and celebrating. But here's what I want you to know. This isn't just gossip or another headline. Taylor's success is a masterclass. I've spent hours studying her career, her lyrics, her reinventions, her business moves, and even how she handles failures. And I have come up with 7 principles which explain exactly why Taylor Swift is successful. These are not just about being a celebrity or writing hit songs. These are principles you can use in your career, your leadership, or your personal brand. Anywhere you want to play bigger. Because Taylor Swift is not just a pop star. She is a global phenomenon. When she performs, she lifts entire economies. When she speaks, industries change. When she writes, millions of people feel seen. Her success is not an accident. It's a playbook. And today, I want to break down what makes Taylor Swift so successful and how you can use her strategies in your career, your personal brand, or your leadership. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Jaslyn Jason. And on this podcast, we decode strategies and stories that help ambitious women lead with both power and presence. My goal is to take big cultural moments and turn them into lessons you can actually apply in your own life. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because today's episode is going to give you the Taylor Swift playbook, 7 principles that make her unstoppable and how you can use them. Taylor did not rise to the top because she had the loudest voice in the room. She rose because she knew how to tell a story. Most pop songs, they are vague. It's emotional but forgettable. Taylor flipped that. She gave us details that felt like we were watching a movie. Or worse, reliving our own heartbreak. Think about the song All Too Well. She doesn't say she misses him. She says, I left my scarf there at your sister's house and you have still got it in your drawer even now. One scarf and suddenly you feel the whole weight of that breakup. Or take the song You Belong With Me. She could have just said he picked the wrong girl. Instead, she gives us, she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. She's cheer captain and I'm on the bleachers. Instantly you see it because we have all been there. Even in the song Anti-Hero, she does not sugarcoat. She says, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Vulnerability trapped in a pop hook. And it becomes an anthem. So what's the lesson here? People don't connect to statements. They connect to stories. So how can you use this in your life? First, be specific. Instead of saying we improved sales, say we grew sales by 20% in 3 months by untapping 2 new markets in Europe. That's your scarf in the drawer. Second, frame things as a journey, just like her album's flow. Teenage dreams in Fearless, heartbreak in Red, and reflection in Folklore. At work, frame your updates as problem, action, and outcome. That gives it a journey. And third, don't be afraid of vulnerability. Taylor sang, I am the problem, it's me, and turned self-doubt into empowerment. In your career, this might sound like, this project was tough. I stumbled at first, but here's how I grew. That's how you stop being forgettable and start becoming memorable. And here's the thing. Taylor could have stopped right there. She could have kept writing the same kind of songs forever. But she didn't because she knew something powerful. Even the best story gets old if you don't evolve. And that takes us to the second part of her playbook. Reinvention. She never lets herself get boxed in. She started off in country music with Tim McGraw. By 2014, she dropped 1989 and reinvented herself as a pop star with the song Shake It Off. Then in 2020, when the world shut down, she surprised us all with Folklore and Evermore. Stripped back, indie, poetic. And then she turned again with Midnight, moody synth pop. And now she's about to give us The Life of a Showgirl. Glamour, theatrical, another reinvention. So what's the lesson here? Reinvention is not optional, it's survival. Here's how you can use this. Every couple of years, audit yourself. Ask, am I stale? Am I growing? Or do I need a new era? Name your eras. Maybe it's your year of learning. Maybe it's your year of entrepreneurship. Maybe it's a year of leadership. Give it a theme, own it. And most importantly, control the story. Taylor doesn't wait for critics to say she's changed. She tells us, welcome to the new era. You can do that too. Now, reinvention is powerful, but it can only work if you own what you're reinventing. Because what's the point of changing if someone else controls the story? And that's why the next part of her playbook is about owning your worth. One of Taylor's boldest moves was fighting for her masters. When her original recordings were sold without her consent, she didn't just complain, she re-recorded the entire catalog. What could have been a setback turned into a revolution. She reminded the entire music industry that ownership matters. And when the world tried to cancel her, she dropped Reputation. Remember that line? The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. That was not just a lyric. That was her reclaiming her narrative. So what's the lesson here? Protect your value. Don't let someone else decide your worth. Here's how you can do it. Ask yourself, what's my masters? For you, it could be your expertise, your reputation, your relationships. That's what you protect. Make your work visible. Document it, share it. Don't let someone else take credit. And when it's time to negotiate, walk in like Taylor, calm, clear, and unapologetic. Your work matters. Own it. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, because Taylor doesn't just use ownership to protect herself. She uses it to build belonging, marketing genius. And that's lesson 4. Build a movement, not just an audience. Taylor does not just have fans. She has Swifties, and they are not casual listeners. They are detectives, co-creators, evangelists. Why? Because she brings them into the story. She hosts secret sessions at her house. She hides Easter eggs in music videos and notes. She makes fans feel like insiders. That's why when she releases an album, it's not just consumed, it's dissected, it's lived. So what's the lesson here? Depth beats breadth. Build a community, not just numbers. Here's how you can do it. Build allies, not just contacts you exchange cards with, but people who would go to bat for you. As a leader, create your own secret sessions. Invite people in early. Ask their inputs before decisions are made. Let them feel ownership. And third, if you are building a personal brand, add your own Easter eggs, callbacks, inside jokes, small touches that your people notice and feel connected to. When you do that, you don't just have an audience, you have a movement. But let's be honest, movement attracts attention, and attention isn't always positive. Taylor has had some of the harshest criticism and some of the ugliest public moments, and yet she turned even that into fuel. That brings us to the next part of her playbook, resilience. Taylor has been through public humiliation, criticism, even cancellation. In 2009, she was interrupted on stage by Kanye West. She could have crumbled. Instead, she doubled down, kept going, and years later was one of the most awarded artists on that same stage. During the Kim-Kanye feud, she was branded a snake. Memes, hashtags, entire think pieces written on how she was over. And what did she do? She leaned in. She posted snakes everywhere and dropped her album Reputation with that line, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. So what's the lesson here? Resilience is not about ignoring pain. It's about turning that into power. And here's how you can use this. When you fail, say it before anyone else can. Yes, this went wrong. Here's what I learned, and here's how I fixed it. Use criticism as fuel. Let it push you to level up, not shut down. And remember, people rarely remember the stumble. They remember the comeback. Taylor didn't just survive her lows. She turned them into chart-topping albums. And you can turn your setbacks into your own reputation moment. She turned her lowest moment into an album that defined her comeback. And that's the thing. She doesn't just respond. She escalates. She makes her response bigger than the attack. And that's where we see her genius at the next level. She doesn't just release songs. She shapes entire economies. And that's lesson number 6. The Eras Tour was not just a concert. It was an economy. Hotels sold out Airlines added flights. Restaurants overflowed. Economists literally coined the term Swiftonomics. And now, with the life of a showgirl, the ripple effects are already starting. Cities are lighting up monuments in orange. Brands are shifting campaigns. It's not just music, it's cultural infrastructure. So what's the lesson here? Don't just deliver outputs. Deliver ripple effects. Here's how you can use this. Ask yourself, what's the ripple effect of my work? Who benefits after me? Don't just send the report. Launch it. Narrate it. Make it an event people talk about. Focus on experience, not just deliverable. People don't just remember what you did. They remember how it felt. That's what will make your work unforgettable. And that leads me to the final part of her playbook. The Eras Tour was the biggest concert tour in history. She could have taken a break, written books, released documentaries, but instead, she moved right into the next chapter, the life of a showgirl. And on the other side, her lowest point birthed reputation. When people counted her out, she didn't stop, she created. So what's the lesson here? Don't let a win make you complacent. Don't let a loss make you disappear. Just keep showing up. Here's how you can use this. After a big win, ask yourself, what's the next level? How do I build momentum? After a loss, reframe it. How can this be raw material for my growth? And above all, stay consistent. Like Taylor, keep producing, keep creating, keep moving forward. So here's the playbook, straight from Taylor Swift. Taylor is a superstar, but these lessons, they're universal. They are for anyone who wants to stay relevant, resilient, and powerful. So my challenge to you is this. Which one of these will you apply this week? Because success is not about luck. It's about playing the game with the right rules. And Taylor Swift has already given us the blueprint.